And that's the amazing part, is that no matter the wealth and the abundance of information that we have right in front of our faces, computers in our pockets, people don't even care to look up actual facts. They take the propaganda, they suck it in, and they go, okay, now let me just regurgitate that, but change the words.
Hasn't it exposed something really dark about humans? Like, don't you think a little bit differently about humanity now than, say, a year and a half ago? Like,
absolutely.
I go to the supermarket. I mean, I don't really go anywhere anymore, but like once in a blue moon, I have to get something.
Right.
But I pretty much live in my bunker at this point. But when I go to the supermarket, I see these people with the mask, and they look sort of glazed over, like robots, you know, just doing their thing, and nobody realizes why they're wearing the mask anymore, but everyone's just afraid. They're just afraid of being the person that someone's going to look at and say something mean. And it's like, you know, the Nazi analogy is way overused, obviously, but you can sort of start to see how this stuff could happen.
Right.
Because we went from calling half the country racist, which is what the mainstream media was doing for years during Trump. Now they're racist and they're diseased. You think you might do some bad things to those people if you had the power?
Yeah, what do you think the next step of that is? And I think, you know, a lot of people on both sides of the aisle get angry when people use the Nazi comparison. They say it's not an apt comparison. But what other comparisons do you use? There's a lot of other, you know, genocides and other things that have happened and atrocities that have happened. And if you look at the building blocks of them, they all start with these sorts of
because
things.
No one thinks they're going to be a Nazi,
yes,
right? No one.
Of course not.
Whoever was like, if you took the most prototypical Nazi foot soldier in 1941, if you would have said to them in 1936, do you know that you're actually going to round up Jews and shoot them and put them into ditches and things like that? Of course they'd say no. Of course they'd say no. They didn't. They weren't born evil. But the evil collectivist ideas that can turn people against people and make you not look at a human being, but look at, oh, that is a set of ideas that is against me. And now, again, now they're diseased too, and they might share that disease with me.
Yeah.
You can get people to do awful things. Look what's going on in Australia. People are literally walking their dogs and being attacked by military members. I mean, this is, again, find it online while you still can. You know, literally officers choking. There, you saw the video of them choking that woman. It's like, we're choking you. We don't want you to choke on phlegm because of COVID, but we're going to literally choke you with our hand in the name of health and safety.
Gosh, and people look, and still, that information's right in front of people's faces. The videos are there. They go viral, and people still look at it and go, well, that's not the United States.
But you know what?
Couldn't be us.
Right, that's not us yet. But we should be looking at what's happening in Canada. We should be looking at what's happening in Australia and going, you know, they're a little bit ahead of us, ahead or behind, depending on which way you want to look.
Yeah, right.
But that it's happening in front of our eyes. And think about it this way. Why isn't that shown on CNN? Why does CNN...
Great question.
Why does CNN not find it interesting that Australia basically is a police state now? Why do they not find it interesting that in Canada, churches are still closed and they're arresting preachers?
Yep.
We don't find that interesting in America, but we'll argue about what Kristen Sinema had for lunch or something like that. Yeah,
because the media conglomerate, they know where this is going in America, and they know that if we expose this to the Americans too soon, they'll realize that it's going to happen here, and then maybe we're gonna have a revolution we're gonna have to quell. But now they don't have that.
Not yet.
No.
But by the way, to get that to the censorship thing, that's also why more censorship is on the horizon, and it's coming pretty quickly. And I think probably even more quickly than even we'd want to believe, because that chasm between what the mainstream will allow you to see and what we're seeing online, that can't exist much longer.
Sure.
You know what I mean? It's too wide. It would be one thing if it was like, oh, mainstream is kind of lying about a little bit of stuff, and then you can expose a little bit of it online. But now the chasm is so wide where they lie about everything.